Public reaction prevents car theft in Port Moresby. Qualified cancer doctors needed to conduct radiotherapy. And NCD women's hockey team in training for PNG Games.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartolo.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. An attempted carjacking this morning in the nation's capital resulted in a brutal experience for one of the would-be criminals. Bystanders intercepted the attempted hold-up as two of the alleged group of three men fled, with one man captured as he attempted to escape on foot. Witnesses claimed that the three men involved had attempted to stop a man driving by, with further claims that the men had been armed with factory-made firearms and knives. Police arrived shortly to the scene, but not before the captured man was beaten and stripped naked by the frustrated public that gathered around him.
Wala brown blood megnam nabla tubla black blood na brown blood tubla kan ole fara ele ya tubla ole fara le na time blood so man mir move kana to go so time nara tubla ganem tubla foul na tubla rana o nabla ya mbla chekim wallet bo fara wala na loksin ole start ko late ko ne brown ko ya mi blo ole me pa tubla gane tubla ko ya ga biling magado sen ben bare ko sen meri che ko sen na tubla ko.
Former National Research Institute Director Dr. Thomas Webster said the dynamics of policy making in PNG has changed. He said with the emergence of local think tanks like the National Research Institute, many local decision-making systems and processes in the country have shifted from seeking external support to local research and data.
Following the opening of the Thomas Webster Research Building yesterday, former National Research Institute Director Dr. Thomas Webster said policy prescriptions for developing countries were based on global theories and concepts.
My own research for my doctoral dissertation revealed that policy prescriptions for developing countries at that time was peddled by multilateral agencies, including those for PNG, based on global theories and concepts in the absence of local voices and local research. The need for more local, contextually relevant research informing policy debates and discussions became more evident.
Dr. Webster, who was once a rural primary school teacher, said for PNG most of its public policies were derived from multilateral agencies like the UN and World Bank. However, he said local think tanks like the National Research Institute is now dominating the field of local research and data.
The dynamics of PNG policy making have changed. The dominance of the external multilateral agencies in influencing local policy decisions has diminished. This is probably due to the emergence of local think tanks like the National Research Institute. It is also probably due to the emergence of strong local decision-making systems and processes within the country.
He said with the institute developing the country's first knowledge hub, the country will be placed in a better position for inquiring, informing and influencing effective public policies. Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
The Chancellor of the University of Goroka, Joseph Sukwianom, confirms that the university is prepared for the 2017 academic year. Over 2,000 students are expected to attend Orientation Week, which begins next Monday. The university is also introducing new policy initiatives such as the Oath of Admission, a 10-point student affirmation statement, which the university hopes will guide the students' conduct, moderate their behaviors to their studies, as well as relationships with others.
Of the near 30,000 grade 12 students in 2016, only 11,000 were successfully secured in tertiary institutions in 2017. Some 2,000 secured places at the University of Goroka. UOG has officially announced its readiness to welcome these new students on campus for the 2017 academic year.
But we want to appeal to the parents, and particularly sponsors and students, that University of Goroka is determined to make sure that we provide the education, the environment that is needed to complete their studies.
The newly introduced policy this year, which is seen by the academic leaders as a student affirmation in their pursuit of knowledge and truth, is called the Oath of Admission. There are 10 statements intended to help moderate the behaviors of students.
So what we're saying is nothing outside of the blue. It's capturing from our mandate. So the students have to be aware that university exists for them to pursue the truth and knowledge and advancement. And once the truth and knowledge empowers them, then the benefit flows on into their community, their individual.
This year is also marked as a special year for the university as they celebrate their 20th anniversary. The highlight of their celebrations this year will be commemorated with the graduation of near 1,000 students in April. The university also successfully hosted the 2017 PNG Women's Forum this week, which saw the US Ambassador Ebert Gray, Governor Julie Soso and Australia's Ambassador for Women and Girls Dr. Shaman Stone join forum participants from all over the Highlands region. More about the UOG admissions process and UOG's new academic courses will be shared on MTV's Awesome One program on February 20. Michaeline Moyabasi, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. We'll have more local stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Former Chief Oncologist Dr. John Niblett says without an oncologist or cancer doctor, radiotherapy treatment cannot be planned for patients. Patients currently admitted at the cancer ward at Leys Enga Hospital will be immensely affected. The cancer facility has been operating without an oncologist for 2 months. The other cancer treatment can be performed by a registrar. However, radiotherapy treatment will require an oncologist.
An oncologist is a specialist doctor whose principal work is with cancer. Former Chief Oncologist Dr. John Niblett says there are 3 different types of oncologists.
Surgical oncologist, medical oncologist and a radiation oncologist.
Niblett says cancer treatment requires very often the 3 stages of treatment. But at the moment, the PNG Cancer Center in Enga Hospital has no radiation oncologist. This means that no radiation treatment can be planned as the appropriate specialist is not available.
A person who replaced me left the country on December the 5th. And so this means that no radiation treatments can be planned as the appropriate specialist is not available. Certainly surgery will continue and anti-cancer drug treatments will continue by a registrar, that's Dr. Kundi, who is in training to become a radiation oncologist in the future.
Dr. Niblett's remarks follow an appeal made by a cancer patient who had decided to seek medical treatment overseas after she could not undergo radiotherapy treatment. This is due to there not being an oncologist and CT scanners available at the PNG Cancer Unit. Mata Lewis, National MTV News, Ley.
Gobe landowners have expressed their grievance over the ministerial determination on a clan that will be the only beneficiaries from PDL3 and PDL4 located in Erave, Southern Highlands Province and Kikori, Gulf Province. About 30 clans have disputed the Gobe land region since the 1980s, but for these landowners, they have taken the issue to court and want justice.
A ministerial determination was passed by Minister for Petroleum and Energy Nixon Duban on January 19th this year. It stated that the Wolotu clan would be the beneficiary for PDL3 and PDL4. The landowners say they do not understand how the minister could think a sub-clan owned 90 square meters of land.
Come out and explain to us, to the landowners and beneficiary of PDL3 and 4, and clear us that why, to what reason, to what extent, to what purpose, and we've been issued this ministerial determination.
In the ministerial decision, Wolotu clan and its neighboring clans get 54% and Gobe Legitimate Land Owners Association gets 46%. The landowners claim the associations belongs to Wolotu clan.
All no had evidence, all not been participate on day one, presenting cases, they were only under the umbrella of Ima Bogashi, and the Ima Bogashi is the only one who presented, who gave evidences, and not Wolotu. They have no evidence. So where did the minister get the evidence to say that they are the principal landowners.
They have taken the issue to court, where the case has been heard by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court directed the issues to the Land Title Commission.
Last year, this decision was handed down. Since then, Land Title Commission has no God one time. He been invited me to Papa ground on Kampum, na sit down, na talk, na discuss.
They say if nothing is done to withdraw the ministerial decision to allow for a proper survey of clans that are supposed to benefit, they will close the PDL4 and PDL3 sites.
Positive response, we'll go back to the project site and when we'll start on the project. So that's our demand.
Adelaide Sirox Kari, National EMTV News.
The 2017 PNG Women's Forum for the Highlands region concluded this week. The forum saw hundreds of women and men from all over the region attend the two-day event held at the University of Goroka. The culmination of the event brought some recommendations from the women, which include separate polling lines during the upcoming national elections and a revival of the National Council of Women.
Some of the presenters included US Ambassador Ebert Gray, Australia's new Ambassador for Women and Girls Dr. Shaman Stone, Deputy Secretary for the Department of Community Development Jean Sliviak, and PNG Tribal Foundation's President G.T. Buston and Michelle Lucero. On her first visit to PNG, Dr. Shaman Stone delivered the opening address, reiterating Australia's $500 million aid support to PNG as a partnership, while promoting gender equality in all areas, including government, boards and businesses.
The only thing that's really lacking is women up there, 50% of the members of parliament, 50% of all the boards, 50% of all the businesses, at least 50% women there, striding along beside the men.
The forum involved 2 days of workshops and panels discussing women in politics under the theme Power of Our Voices and working toward economic empowerment. The culmination of the event raised key recommendations. Speaking on behalf of the women is PNG Tribal Foundation's Deputy Operations Manager, Ruth Kissam.
One of the things that the women from this forum came up with was that the 10,000 kina that was set by the government, we feel that it's actually very discriminatory against women, because it's hard to to get elected, but then to pay that amount of money when a lot of our women want to be involved in politics. And another thing that I think from the forum that the women themselves came up with that we would like to see as a way forward, apart from having other similar forums like this, was for us to also to resurrect and work with our National Council of Women. That was one of the things that the women themselves they wanted for the forum.
More of the Highlands Region Women's Forum will be featured on MTV's Osem Wanam on February 27. Michaeline Moyabasi, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have some sporting action up next in Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Despite the third deferral of the PNG Games, the NCD women's hockey team has now been in full training over the past 2 weeks. Made up of mostly younger players, they have been practicing their speed and agility on grass, as they are expecting the turf of play in West New Britain to be on grass come November.
The 12-woman team has been in training for the last 2 weeks, and players have been shaping up with assistance from national representatives who have come out to assist. And 6 more players will be joining soon. With Team Lay as their fair competition in mind, these women's training will continue for the next 8 months. Coach Paula Naron said it was difficult to regroup the team after the 2 previous deferrals of the PNG Games, as individual players expected the games to be called off. Eventually the team came together, and so far training has been going well.
Players on board, and we'll be grateful that the games have been deferred. With our competition coming, that is an added bonus for us with the teams combining together. After the games on the pitch, we will be out on the grass playing, so it gives them an added boost with that extended time.
Though most may be disheartened by the deferral, Coach Naron welcomes the extra months as her team will be able to gear up well for the games.
The pitch will only be an aid to them in their skills and their fitness, but most of the trainings will be done on the field, out here on the grass. They have to get used to the grass. They've been playing on the turf for a couple of years now, and they've lost focus on how to play on the grass. And with this pitch now that we're standing on, it will give a bonus for them.
Training for the next few months will be done on grass, as that will be the facility provided for hockey in Kimbe. Dineros Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
To cricket, and the Hebo PNG Barramundis lost by 6 runs to the New South Wales 11 in the Australia Tour opener in a rain-affected match last Wednesday. They will be playing 2 more 50-over matches against New South Wales 11 and a T20 match in Sydney before making their appearance in Canberra for the curtain raiser for the ACT 11 for the Prime Minister's 11 come Wednesday. The Port Moresby Canoe Club held a one-day VA'a trial event for interested members of the public at the Fairfax Harbour down at the Royal Papua Yacht Club this morning. The invitation was shared on social media and other various sources, which attracted quite a lot of interested paddlers than expected by the event organisers.
The sport of the VA'a is a relatively new sport in the country, but it's gaining a good reputation and popularity. The turnout of the interested paddlers at the VA'a Open Day today illustrates the code's growth and success.
We're expecting about 58 paddlers, and this morning we got more than that, so it was good to have all the new and interested paddlers come down and try out.
Participants were given a brief theory session on the sport, then each were interviewed before paddling out in the open waters with instructors on board. Of all of the participants, a good number will be selected and put into vigorous training and coaching sessions.
And this is the practical session. We've had paddlers go out in the canoes, so once they come off, we'll have to sit, the committee has to sit and go through, and we have only 35 spots, so we're not going to get everyone, only the successful ones who get selected, yeah.
The participants paddled in V6 fiberglass canoes, which carry 6 paddlers and rowed 1,000 meters offshore.
Go for like clubs, international clubs like Cairns, Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, Hamilton Island, and then the main event is all about Pacific Games, coming together and then trying to select a team to represent our country. Yeah.
Lately, the paddlers from PNG have been participating in the World Sprints as well.
Yes, last year.
So one thing we would like to achieve is to attend the World Sprints, which is held in Tahiti next year.
The announcement of the final selected 35 will be done on social media and other media sources. The Konidobu Canoe Club is an affiliate of PNG Canoe Association, with particular this event staged at the club level. Shane Soroya, National EMTV Sports.
The Port Moresby Soccer Association had its round 2 of the pre-season competition today. EMTV Sports caught up with 2 particular matches.
In the women's division, the Munkas and the Gurias had a go at each other's goalmouths at the Bissini Sports Precinct. The first half saw a slow start for the Guria ladies, and the Munkas scored 3 consecutive goals. In response, the Gurias scored just before halftime, and that set the scoreline at 3-1 in favor of the women in pink. The second half saw a more alert Gurias side as they defended the third well but failed to attack at given opportunities. Their opponents, on the other hand, maintained presence in the Gurias third. By full-time, the score remained at 3-1 in favor of the Munkas. Meanwhile, the men's match between the Huawi PS United and Momase saw the PS side come out on top. A PS United point was scored early on in the first half, and it was an eye-opener for the Momase side, who switched on defense mode and PS was not able to score again. So the defenses went up as well. At halftime, it was a 1-0 scoreline in favor of the Huawi PS United. The second half saw countless attempts again by the Momase side, but the PS men made sure the score stayed as it was still full-time. Dineros Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
And that's a wrap for Trukai Sports tonight. Up next, your weather details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Port Moresby, fine although cloudy. Fine weather expected in Daru, mostly fine in Kerema, Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momasa region, cloudy in Ley and Wau, a shower or two in Madang and Wibek, some showers in Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine in Lorengau, cloudy weather expected in Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabau, a shower or two in Kimbe, a shower or two as well in Boka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, fine weather over the next 24 hours with morning fog.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that has been the news, sports and weather for tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.